Is on the scene, reporting live.
Quote, fake news. Fake news. You are fake news. It's all fake news. Fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen. It's all fake news.
So that's all fake news, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Technically Difficult Podcast, bringing you today's news tomorrow. Or
and the next day, maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by. We do appreciate it. This is our first episode covering the E3 highlights from the day. And Thorn, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I am Thorn. I stream live on twitch.tv/Thorn, and that's a 0, and I put the D in at the end. Yeah, so this has been a little brainchild of mine and Mad's for quite some time. We've tossed this back and forth. So today we're just like, we're gonna pull the trigger. We're gonna go for it. E3 is the perfect time to do that because there's a ton of gaming news that comes out. There's and I think that we also mean this not to just be like a gaming like podcast, but to anything, sports, life, books. Beard products. I don't know, whatever you want. So yeah, that's me.
All right, and guys, I'm Mad Wolf Gaming, twitch.tv/Mad Wolf Gaming, on all social medias at Mad Wolf Gaming, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. We've been working on this probably for close to 2 years, Thorn?
That's really bad to say.
It's technically difficult, man.
We've been working on this for 2 years, and this is the only graphic that we have to show for 2 years of labor and hard work.
But it's been interesting. We keep putting things on the back burner because we were having so much fun doing other things, streaming, whatever else. But we decided to finally pull the trigger. And we threw this together really in just 1 or 2 days with the final details, and this is where we're at, guys. We hope this is going to be quite a regular show. We've got a show tonight, and then we're going to do a wrap-up show on Wednesday where we'll give you our best of, worst of impressions of the show and cover the conferences that we're not covering here tonight.
Yep.
We're going to hit pretty much everything in a brief instance up into the Square Enix one. I haven't seen that one yet, so that one will be on Wednesday's show, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. So I've been lucky enough to attend E3, and it's huge. It's awesome. It's a whirlwind, very much a whirlwind. So a lot of what you have is like a lot of your companies like Microsoft, even Sony, Bethesda, Ubisoft, places like that, they might have like a small little thing that goes on actually during E3. E3 started today and goes through Thursday, I believe. But over this last weekend, so Saturday and Sunday, a lot of these companies will do these like huge events. I mean, huge events. And that's really where a lot of information comes out. So the way we set this up is, like Matt said, is that we're going to do kind of for today's episode, we're kind of recapping today and then the past couple of days. And then Wednesday, I think, is what we talked about doing, the follow-up from, anything from now through Wednesday, and giving our thoughts on everything. Thursday, nothing really happens. There's people running around crazy, and there's not really many announcements on Thursday. So yeah, which topic do you want to get to first, man?
Well, let's first start off. We were talking about this just before we went live. Is the absence of Sony at this year's E3?
Yeah, I don't know what to because I mean the big thing about Microsoft is that they were going to unveil or at least give some details about their new console. And I think Sony, I think the absence of Sony actually says that they don't have anything yet. That's just my opinion, of course. I was kind of shocked that they didn't come out with anything because this console race, I mean, and then you have a ton of games that are doing this cross-platform, and you hear word that Like Bungie is doing their now they're going to have cross save capabilities in Destiny 2 coming up in the fall, and the word on that is that Sony is dragging its heels on getting the cross save functionality. So it's starting to sound more and more like Sony has been the problem, and not so much like Microsoft or Xbox, like we've heard before. So
Yeah,
not sure really what's going on with that.
it's been that way for a while. If you read the news, is that Sony has been on the back burner. They're the ones who didn't want to do the cross-platform with Fortnite. They were the last ones on board with that car soccer game. Sorry, it's slipping my mind right now.
Oh, Rocket League?
Yeah, they were the last ones on board with the cross-play on that one.
That car soccer game.
That car soccer. That's how I remember it.
A ton of people that play Rocket League.
There is a ton. I'm not saying I haven't been one of them, but it does. I get where it comes from. It does look like it's got some. And yeah, so I'm just looking over an article here, and basically I'll look over that a little bit more as we go through this. But it basically is an article why they're not attending. But again, I think they're going to do their own conference in a week or two, something like that. Is this me? Stupid things. I hate ads on web pages. I tell you.
The ad blocker going.
I know it. I need to get it going here. Going to the Xbox. The Xbox conference. Did you get to catch most of this one, or did you catch any of this one?
I just caught details of, about it's Project Scarlet, I think is what it's called.
Yep, we can start with the hardware. The Project Scarlet is going to be their upcoming console. It is going to be using an AMD. What is it? An AMD. There's their learn more option here.
Which I'm surprised that it's AMD. Quite honestly, I'm very surprised that it's AMD.
I was really thinking, because I heard that PS4 was going AMD, or the PS5. So I was kind of thinking that maybe Microsoft would go the Intel route, so they could really re-up the console wars and the processor wars, and it would have been almost perfect for them to do. But apparently, Intel is really not making any new strides. I'm hearing I heard earlier today that their next major chipset release isn't until 2022.
Really?
So, if that's the case, I can understand why these two consoles did not go Intel at this juncture, especially after AMD today just released or just announced that they have a new consumer grade 16 core processor. It comes out of the box at 3.5, something like that, but they had it overclocked up to 5.3.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. But yeah, Scarlett's supposed to be going with AMD processor chips. They really just announced a little bit of the specs. It's going to have a hybrid SSD drive. There's going to be no platters in this thing at all.
Which is nice for load times, because they're talking these games are going to be up to 8K graphics, 120 frames per second. So I guarantee you what they're going to do is they're going to work it out to where you have to, people are going to they're going to bundle new monitors and new TVs with this, because there's not many TVs and monitors that come out that are practical right now that do 120. I mean, it's 60 hertz for most of that. And then you have your TVs that do a perfect motion rate, which is just an upscale filter that they put on there. But yeah, that's load times on games. If it was a disk drive or something like that, load times would be huge.
They're basically saying, well, now here's a perfect example is Division 2. You would be walking through something and you climb into that elevator load screen where you're in that elevator, then you go to the next floors. They're saying in the next consoles that's going to be not present. You're going to be able to basically get on the elevator. You're going to see the elevator rise, and you get off the elevator. There's no load time there. Right now in Division, it's get on, a quick fade out, fade back in, and then you're off the elevator. This is going to be, you're going to feel the elevator going. In the Sony one that I heard about was they had the Spider-Man game that just came out, where you get occasional load screens when you're cutting into different scenes, whatever else.
Yeah.
They're saying that's non-existent. You literally transition now. And that's what they're saying right now is it's that fast.
Really? So the thing about this is think about it though. If if you're not having load times, I mean, then people's internet is what's going to have to catch up. Catch up to this. So that's it's good. It's just it's kind of coming from a guy whose first like console that he owned was a Nintendo Entertainment System, playing Legend of Zelda, where the side scroller and all that, and coming into into this day and age that we're at, and just seeing all the games that are on there, like seeing probably putting the cart way before a horse on this to talk about this, but Cyberpunk 2077, seeing Keanu Reeves in a video game like that, oh, it looked awesome. It looked so awesome. I was like, Neo.
Yeah, that was killer for me too, man. When I saw him on there, I was like, no way, they've got him in that game, and oh man, that's pretty awesome. The one thing I have to say before we move too much on to other stuff is the celebrities that they're putting in these games is freaking phenomenal.
Yep.
The guy that plays the Punisher on the Netflix show is in the new Ghost Recon game.
Yeah.
And man, I'm like, wow, dude. This is getting real good with them, and they look so much like the original person. It's great.
I know, and that is scary. That is scary. I don't know if you've looked up like these deep fake videos or whatever, but the technology that these people have to just put a person's face and then voice and all that is just
So let's stick with the hardware going forward here, man. And did you see this the new Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2? This thing is freaking tight looking, man. I don't know if you've seen this, guys. Well, let me flip over to the screen here and you guys can see what I'm seeing here. The price point is a little high for a controller, but for what you get for this thing, everything on this, you can apparently adjust the tension on these Joy-Cons
on the sticks.
On the sticks.
So it's kind of like that other Elite controller that they came out with before.
I didn't know you could do that on those ones, but these ones I saw them actually had like a key you put into it, and you can control how much tension you put on it for whatever else. That's pretty cool.
And they're also saying that Project Scarlet will run Xbox One games.
It should. I mean, if you don't do that, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah, but there will no longer be any Xbox 360 backwards compatible, which, I mean, honestly, two console generations afterwards, are you still wanting to play?
There's only a few games that are still there, and if they're moving everything over to where you can play it on the PC, what's the point?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's where you play it at. But this just looking through this thing, man, it's holds up to, I heard it said 40 hours on a single charge of playtime.
Really?
So it's a pretty good looking controller. But I don't know if I want to spend $180 on it yet. So, but
no.
No. I need you to let me touch it.
I need you to let me touch it.
Nice.
That was actually kind of perfect there, sweetheart. Going into games here though.
Halo Infinity. Just got the perfect launch title for a console. Is one that started it all.
It launched the Xbox back in the day, and now you're going to see it come full circle. This should be the Halo of all Halos from what I'm seeing. It was pretty good, man. That trailer was pretty awesome. I was pretty stoked for it. It sucks that I have to wait that long. I'm
gonna have to buy an Xbox again.
That's what I told the wife. I don't currently have an Xbox One. The CD-ROM drive went out on mine a while back, and I never replaced it. And that's so I told the wife, I go, what we should do is just now wait instead of buying a new one. Just wait till Scarlet comes out, and we'll end up getting a Scarlet next holiday season and go from that.
Yeah.
So, and then the only other one that really, really stood out to me was Gears 5.
That
game looks really, really good. The modes they're putting in on that game some of the multiplayer co-op stuff. It looks phenomenal. So that game's going to be pretty interesting to see how that does. And those two titles alone really, really help that launch title, or those titles for the Xbox, being that they're exclusive to PC Xbox. So that'll be good.
Yep.
And did you see the Flight Simulator game?
I did.
That looks phenomenal.
It just how technical that game is.
I just want to see how many planes I can crash, because I know I'm not going to land them very well. Getting them in the air is probably easy. Getting them down, that's a whole nother story.
There's some YouTube videos that I've watched in the past of people getting on and doing this flight simulator, and you have GTA 5 like role playing servers. Well, people get on and I guess kind of role play on flight simulator. Like you have people that get into the tower, and like they tell planes which runway to go to and which to take off and all that. But I mean, the people that play this, I mean, it looks amazing. I just can't imagine. I've always wanted to learn to fly, and then I see something like that, and I'm like, how would I know how to fly? How would I know all these buttons and knobs and what to push and press? And I just want to, just coast up in the air and then coast down. You remember Top Gun on Nintendo?
I actually don't. I don't think I ever played that one.
Oh, that game was hard
as balls.
Yes, if balls were hard, that would be that game.
And we already touched on this one a little bit here, man. But that Cyberpunk trailer and that whatever they did with that one, man, that was I can't wait till April of next year, man.
It looked awesome too. I mean, we didn't see any gameplay footage on that. It was just a video.
Yeah, it was pretty much just a trailer, but I
was thinking of the Star Wars.
It's so close to that, man, that it's going to be really, really good.
Yep.
Really, really good, and I can't wait for that day to come around to play that game. It's been what? I think they said it's been almost 2003 was when it started the production on this game. Or maybe it was 2013, I think is what I saw. So this game's been in production for about 7 years.
Really?
It should be good. If I saw it right, I could be wrong on that. Don't I was just thought I read that somewhere. And
adapted from the 1988 tabletop game, Cyberpunk 2020 is set 57 years later in dystopian Night City, California. Let's see the development. Oh, it's CD Projekt Red. So
this is the one, and this is why I'm keeping my expectation high for this game, is because
2012.
Okay.
May 2012. In January 2013, a teaser trailer was released.
Yeah. But as I was saying, I'm keeping my expectations high for this game because of their past titles. The Witcher franchise.
Yes. Yeah.
This right now, to me, without even playing any games that are coming out next year in 2020, this is probably already your game of the year for 2020.
Yeah, this is their first breakaway from the Witcher series.
I'm pretty sure you're right on that one. I can't think of anything else that Project Red has done outside of that universe.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Witcher, Witcher game, Battle Arena, the Witcher 3, then Gwent, the Witcher card game, Thronebreaker, Witcher Tales, and then Cyberpunk 2077.
And we can't go on talking about old games, man, without talking about Battletoads.
What? Did I miss?
Yeah, right below that trailer on that link I sent you, man. There's Battletoads. They're bringing Battletoads back.
Well, I didn't get a link from you.
The first one I sent you. I'll bring it up on the stream again here. But they have Battletoads.
Oh my god!
When they first flashed that logo on the trailer, I knew exactly what game it was. I was like, without even seeing anything else, Battletoads. I was like, dude.
Wow. God, how long has it been playing a Battletoads game?
And this right here, guys, it's been a while. It's been a while, man. I remember the old Battletoads versus TMNT days.
Yep.
But this right here, guys, I think is going to be a very good thing for them. I know PlayStation hasn't announced anything like this yet, but the Xbox Game Pass. The fact that you've now got 3 different levels of the Game Pass, I've got it right here. You have the console only for $10 a month, which you get access to all the console games that they have on there. You have the PC version, which has a ton of games on there. And then you have the Ultimate for, $5 more a month, which you can get both console, PC, and you get Xbox Live Gold.
That's not bad that you get Xbox Live and all that.
If I had the console right now, if I had the Xbox, I would have probably signed up for that one just because of that. And you also get into Gears 5 as soon as it's released. 4 days early, this says here. And guys, go ahead.
No, you're seeing a big switch. I mean, you remember EA before Anthem came out. They have their pass. You're seeing a lot of these developers switch away from having you purchase the game, so they're just doing a subscription service, and it's probably bringing them in money hand over fist. Because people stay around, and if you pay a subscription to something, you stick around, you stick to it, and then they have all these other games that come out, and then the items that you can purchase or whatnot inside the game. So I think it's a really smart move for Microsoft to go this way instead of having you purchase a $60 game.
And here's look at the titles that you can get on this, dude. There's Sea of Thieves, Forza 4 Standard, Gears of War 4. Those are just 3 of the top games that are right at the top of the page.
You got Ark, Survival Evolved on there. You've got
Gears Ultimate. And then you got games, more low down games, Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah, Crackdown 3, yeah.
You got the Tomb Raider series. Halo's even on here.
Halo Wars. So that's their real-time strategy game.
I saw Ultimate Edition on here earlier too. Whatever it was. Definitive Edition. Game. And right now, guys, you can sign up. Your first month can be $1.
Yeah.
So you can get on starting today. I think it probably runs the rest of this week. You sign up this week, and you can get these games and play them this month for $1. Any of these games on this list. And so I think it's a really good deal, and I think they're gonna, obviously they're gonna be adding more as it comes out. The Ultimate's where they're gonna put their new titles that come out. You play them a little early, and that's how they're gonna do it. But these ones, having the ability just to log on and play it. Like, I've been wanting to play Sea of Thieves, but I didn't want to pay it because I don't know how much I'm going to play it. I can now do that.
Yep.
Forza is another game. I want to sit down and play a racing game just to chill out. I can do that. I like the subscription purposes for that month. And then if you don't have the money that month, you don't pay for it. You renew it again later on. So it's a good deal. It's a good deal.
No, I think so. And I did that. I had some friends that were playing Sea of Thieves, and instead of purchasing the game, I joined for $1. Played that. I downloaded some other games. I never played it though, and I only stayed around for 1 month because I didn't play Sea of Thieves anymore. But yeah, I mean it's part of why why not? If you're paying, I think Xbox Live is like $13 a month now, like $12.99 or something like that.
That sounds right.
So, just to have, Xbox Live, plus you get all the games, Gears of War 5 when it comes out, on release, you get to play it. And then you get to play any games for Windows or whatnot, cross-compatibility. You get to play those on your computer as well. So, no, I think that's a great idea.
And that pretty much wraps up what Xbox did for over the weekend, which I thought they had a fairly good show. I don't think it was outstanding by any means, but I thought it was a really good show. I thought they announced what they needed to announce, and 60 plus games I think they said they showed, and it was really good here. The one we didn't show yet and we didn't talk about because we haven't talked about it.
I am here in the shadows.
Thanks for the alert, Can. The one we didn't talk about much was the EA's Jedi.
It's Big Can, baby.
That looks so good.
Yeah, that one looks really, really good. So, if you guys haven't seen that one yet, man, go check out that trailer. It's still early alpha, and people are ripping it because they're like, it's all boring. It looks, combat looks. You saw nothing in that one. They didn't show you any of the progression trees. They didn't show you anything. They just showed you basic combat.
I think it looked great.
I did too. I was like, man, he's first pulling him towards you and then stabbing him with a lightsaber.
Yeah, well, and the one thing that you did not see on there, you didn't see any kind of UI. You didn't see anything like that. You didn't, like you said, you didn't really see anything other than just a video of the gameplay only. I think it looked great. It looked awesome. It's cool that that Respawn has dipped away from Titanfall to develop a game like that. And it's going to come out right around the time that Episode 9, close to the time that Episode 9 comes out. So I think it's going to be a great game.
And I got two things to say on that one. First of all, you could definitely tell that Respawn was doing it because you saw the classic wall run.
Yep, and the climbing and all. Yeah.
You saw that one there. And then seeing Saul Guerrero from Rogue One.
Right? Yeah.
That was key for me to say, hey, this now ties it into the movie universe. Which they said when Disney bought them, they said that the games that we do, the actual single-player games that we do, are going to tie in to the canon. And this brings it together and says, it's canon. So it makes me wonder if they're not going to also have references to the upcoming Mandalorian show they're going to have. Because that's in the same rough timeline, give or take in there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they tie all that together. But seeing Saul was awesome. So that way we know that this is going to be a key part of the new Star Wars stories going forward. I thought that was really good.
Well, Twitch just sent out a tweet that says, "Look who decided to join the party," and it looks like they have a picture of Tifa from Final Fantasy VII.
I heard Square Enix announced it finally. They announced that, but I haven't looked at it yet, so I don't know for certain. Huh?
They already remastered that, though, right?
No idea. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So then we move on to Bethesda. Guys, I thought their show was actually really, really mediocre at best. They had some high points. They had some low points. Starting off with Bethesda Studios, Fallout 76. They were doing damage control hard in that press conference, guys. They know they screwed up with that game last year when that released, and now they're trying to fix it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's salvageable, but did you see they're going to have Fallout BR? Now, what looks better to me than some of the other BRs is that they still have the Fallout world that you're in. So you still have super mutants that come in and attack you while you're in the BR. You still have big monsters that come in and fight you, bless you, during the fight. So that there to me is like, okay, so now you at least get the game still feeling like it's part of the world. That's pretty cool to me.
Yeah, but come on. Okay. Next. Bethesda, last year, the thing about this is that these game creators, they never know. I credit Bethesda for trying to do something different with Fallout 76. That was great. That was a good idea. Hey, let's try it. Let's try something different in the same universe. It failed though. So the next year you have to come back with something that's gonna make up for that, or you will get left behind. I mean, they had the Wolfenstein Youngblood, which I think is going to be probably a cool game for if people have played the series. Unfortunately, Wolfenstein is not like what it used to be.
No, but it looks really, really cool. What the new storyline that they've got going with that one there.
Yeah,
I saw them trailers and I was like, those games look pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But the truth, though, the game for me that was unexpected, that stole the show for Bethesda, was this Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh.
You get, if you haven't seen it, it obviously takes place in Tokyo. You get a little bit of how was it? You get a little bit of Thanos mixed in with Sniper Elite or something like that, and it looked really, really good storyline wise, and it's going to be interesting to see. And then the next one that got me was this Deathloop. If you haven't seen those guys, they appear to be really, really good games. Was that me?
Oh, can you hear that?
Yeah, I could hear that.
How could you? I don't know how you could hear that. Okay, I won't play that anymore then. I was just because the one thing because I pulled up Ghostwire Tokyo, and it's like nobody's talking about the game, but they're talking about the Ikumi Nakamura that did the presentation for the game. It's like the internet is ready to die for her. The most genuine person at E3. It's like, so well, maybe she'll be the resurrection for Fallout 76. Who knows?
So really, the only other things that came out of that one there, obviously we know about Doom Eternal, guys, and that versus mode in that is going to be freaking amazing. Okay, if you haven't seen that, have you seen that yet, Thorn?
No, I just know I'm going to suck at it. So
I'm not saying I'm not going to be any good at it, but it's going to be fun to watch.
Horrible. Horrible at it. I was horrible at Doom when I played it back on my 386 computer. So yeah, well, more power to whoever can play it well.
So you've got the Doom Eternal stuff, but really, guys, you got the Commander Keen coming back for mobile. And then there's
nothing really from Bethesda that I'm just like.
It was really just updates on stuff we already knew was there, except for those two games I told you, the Ghostwire and Deathloop. But the big thing that they got was their Project Orion. Did you read anything on this one or not?
No, I didn't.
Basically what it is it's their upcoming streaming, I don't want to say it's their streaming service, but it's their engine that they're starting to put out for developers so that they can build with streaming in mind from the ground up within the software. So the way I understood it is that you put this, it goes on top of whatever engine you're currently running, and this will basically mitigate it so that your game runs about 40% smoother, is what I heard, when you're streaming that game. And it's all software, it's no hardware involved in this. So that way you include that with some of the, Microsoft streaming stuff, Stadia coming out soon and all that stuff. Streaming is going to be where it's at. You're going to be able to pick up that controller, hook it up to your phone, and play your Doom Eternal anywhere you're at. And that's what it's going to be.
So, but Google Stadia is doing that too, though, right?
Right. It's the same principles here. This is Bethesda's underlying thing. It's their engine they're putting out there. I don't know if they're working with Studio or not. They didn't say so, but it's kind of the same thing. We're going to that streaming mode now that the phones are getting bigger, faster, quicker. Your tablets are getting bigger, faster, quicker. They're going to have these streaming services that you'll be able to play your game from wherever you're at, and stream it to your device, and you'll be hunky dory. Yeah. So that is pretty cool. But that was pretty much it for Bethesda, guys. There wasn't anything big there. The trailer for the Elder Scrolls was pretty cool, but it was, again, just a cinematic thing. So they released Elder Scrolls 6. I don't think we're going to see much from Bethesda.
No.
That brings us to today's stuff. And it started off this morning with the PC gaming show. And really, guys, the show itself was actually very boring to watch. When you got to the trailers themselves, it was pretty cool, but the host and the co-host, they weren't all great. Not a lot of games, really big games, came out of this either.
No.
Chivalry 2. That one there is probably the one that caught one of the first ones that caught my eye, and that I could say that game I could actually see myself playing again. It looked really good. A lot of smaller games. So that's kind of where they were at. I'm looking through them now to see. The wife likes Planet Zoo. So if you're into those, there was a lot of sim games this year on the PC gaming show. I don't know if you noticed that. A lot of games like, Planet Zoo, sim style. They had one where I said my first reaction was it's Stardew Valley in space. It was kind of cool because if you can be attacked in this one, and if you're attacked and you die, your colony fails. It basically says, okay, the Matrix. It's like the Matrix. Okay, now you start over.
Yeah.
Then there was Remnant from the Ashes. I didn't see a lot of this one here, but it's from the Darksiders crew, 3 crew, and it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good. I have to say that one there. Did you see
Griffin and Last Oasis Vermintide 2 getting a versus mode Planet Zoo? Yeah, there's I mean,
this one here. I found one that I saw. It was one of the first ones that I introduced, but they're in a different order here. But Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. If you were into the old Vampire the Masquerade or played the old tabletop game, this game looks really good. Long story short is it's you're a fledgling vampire, and it's how you interact with the world. So you don't start off as a great, big, powerful vampire, and this is what you do. You're starting off from the bottom, and you got to feed your way up to the top.
Oh, that's a pretty cool idea, yeah.
So I plan on doing a Bloodlines 1 playthrough at some point on stream before this releases, and this doesn't release till next year. So, obviously there's a Warframe expansion.
Baldur's Gate 3 tabletop.
That was the last one of the day for them, and by far probably my second most anticipated game out of the entire E3 so far.
Baldur's Gate 3? Really?
Baldur's Gate 3. My number, because I remember playing as Baldur's Gate 2 as the damn hamster named Boo. Okay. that was the greatest thing ever. Is when you first get in there, the very first thing you think is this guy starts talking to the freaking hamster, calling him Boo, and it's awesome. So
I never played it. Honestly, I never did.
Apparently, you can play it again on PC. It was basically back on the old days when you had the 3.5 discs. It's been that long.
Yeah.
So, but
it's
now
$20 on Steam.
What's that?
$20 on Steam.
Yeah. It'd be worth a playthrough, man, if you like those style of games. It really would.
I think we've talked about this too, though, and this is what I worry about with so many games coming out. Like, I have severe game ADD. Like, I struggle so much because there's so many games. I mean, I have so many games that I want to play right now, but it's like when I sit down to play, I'm like, I can't focus on one, so I just go back to the automatics like Ring of Elysium, or we've been playing a whole hell of a lot of Realm Royale lately. So those games are, I guess, what I have fun with playing right now. I mean, I haven't even beaten Assassin's Creed yet.
I don't think I have either.
I just remember watching you fighting that Minotaur in that cave place.
Yep.
So.
And surprisingly, guys, at E3, Ubisoft did not announce any new Assassin's Creed like I thought they would.
No, but what they did announce, though.
The story mode? Ooh.
No.
Oh, I'm sticking with the Assassin's Creed area.
You're sticking with Assassin's Creed. Okay, I'll wait.
They do have, I know. They do have an Assassin's Creed story creator where you can create your own stories in Odyssey.
Really?
Excuse me. Write down apparently to the dialogue that you can put in there.
Huh.
So that's coming out. So that was pretty cool. There were some other things with that one. Do you remember what they were? I don't. That's probably what sticks out the most. Was that part there. But then you go into the actual E3 conference, because that was done in the pre-show, so it won't be in with the regular conference. But the first game they kick off with, guys, if you have not seen this, should we just show the trailer right now?
Go for it.
All right, give me a second here. We're gonna put it in here. This game, dude, I'm telling you what.
London. Greatest city in the world. Well, used to be. Now it's a right mess. Government's fucked off. Extremists are grabbing power. Organised crime slicing up the boroughs. The war dogs.
I love the setting.
Freedom's a bloody
Love
joke.
the setting of London.
But this ain't
God,
their
that lady
London.
looks
This is
awful.
our London.
She looks scary.
There's a new power growing. It's all of us together. We're building a resistance, one recruit at a time.
What's my favourite operative up to this evening? And no, I never say that to the others.
Scouting talent, Bagley.
And I love how they just got right into gameplay.
Yeah.
I have
You
no
know, they
eyes,
didn't
and if I did, I wouldn't
have
feel them.
some long, convoluted, like, trailer. It's actual gameplay footage.
My assumption is this is probably mid-game somewhere. Probably early to mid-game.
It might be early because they recruit somebody.
But at the same time, I don't think,
Bloody drones
unless
are
they're giving you a
everywhere,
huge
kicking
roster
our
at the very
fucking
beginning of the
teeth in
game,
lately.
Then
I
I
don't
recommend
see
you
this
recruit
as
someone who
being
can deal with drones.
Brilliant. Never would have thought of that.
the beginning of the thing. I think this is probably where you need to get somebody specific,
Yeah.
and that's why they have you recruit somebody at this point.
Did you ever play Second Son?
I did not.
Impressive skill
Okay.
set.
Sure, but we
This
need
has a lot of
drone
aspects of
expert,
Second
Raj,
Son.
not a shit
It,
kicker.
it reminds me of that game.
But just the fact that everybody apparently, like they're doing here, everybody appears to be recruitable. So you can literally go around scanning people to see what kind of benefits they're going to add to your team.
Mercenaries patrolling the street.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah.
Come on, you shifty prick. Hurry.
And the user interface, the update to the user interface. I mean, it's not clunky at all. It looks amazing.
You, man. You got no right.
He got slapped.
Fucking hell.
And then he
Find
puts a
that
mask
drone
on right
expert
here.
who's
This
about
is
to get himself
badass.
I'm dead set. Get out of here.
Riot drone. Keep your hands visible.
Best not to escalate if you don't.
Gut punches him, man.
Just ignore me.
Drones, man. And this is kind of cool too. That it's freaking permadeath in this game, dude.
Not today.
Yeah, I'm see, and that's right here. I'm seeing him on a delay, but he disappears. That's the one thing. If I had to pick anything out about this, that's the one thing I have a problem with. Because if you could just disappear, then you know.
There's a
It
checkpoint.
may be, you know, like how everybody's got their own abilities, and maybe this guy's ability.
Yeah, or what I was thinking is maybe he's not disappearing from view. Maybe he's just disappearing from that drone's view.
Yeah.
Like some sort of map, but that's the only way they could show it. But yeah, the permadeath.
So
Right there.
You've got to basically, if you've got a guy you really like, you got to watch the mission you take him on because you don't want to lose that one guy.
Yeah. Poor
It's
Ian.
going to add a whole new strategy. And this is where I was talking about with the, what do you call it? The larger roster. You've
Yeah,
got,
it's very, very much RPG-ish.
you've got guys that are level 8, level 12. I don't know if they start off at those levels or if you have to build them up playing
Get
their
used to it. In the
intro
long march
story?
of progress, everything dies eventually.
Eventually, even you, Bagley,
that's-
I'm sure.
freaking
There's
badass.
my Helen.
And then this old lady,
You'll never guess what would happen to
She's
Eve.
mean.
Bagley,
she is, and she's
Let's
hopping
finish what you
over
started.
fences
Come
and
on, Ian,
gates
you
and
recruit
shit.
a drone expert.
that's promising. What do
I
we
was
know about
cracking
you?
up.
Albion
She
scanned
is
Jimmy just
freaking
before
mean.
Ian was killed. I should be able to predict his next move from that data.
And she goes and she punches somebody, she knocks somebody out.
Are they now?
But this case should be handled by the mayor.
Man, this is gonna be you and I when we're 70, 80-year-old. We're gonna be doing this
There's
shit.
my way in. Hello, darling.
Fight the system.
Alright, I'm gonna end it there. Guys, that's...
You gotta watch Granny
They'll be on to me.
Alright, a few more seconds here.
hop over walls. That's all I'm.
Yeah.
You got the mask and kicks somebody in their shin and then hops over the gate.
The takedown. and then to finish it off, she gets on the freaking bus.
Yeah. Just sit there waiting on the bus. Oh god, man.
That was cool, man. That game is going to be fun to play. I played one. I got so far into it, and then I was like, all right, I'm done with this one. I got to play through 2. I hear 2 is much better than 1. And then this one here I want to play. So I want to see how they all tie together and then go from there.
I've played a lot of 2. I've finished 1. I've played a lot of 2. I actually finished 1 in its entirety.
Yeah.
All the side missions and everything. 2, I got through a lot of the story, but I have to restart now because that was on console and I don't have consoles anymore. So
yeah. Then they announced this Mythic Quest TV show that's coming to Apple TV. It's from the same people that did Sunny in Philadelphia. It looks entertaining. I'm not planning on getting Apple TV, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that one there. But this guy here.
Oh yeah,
Ghost
John
Recon Breakpoint, man. That game looks so good. Makes me want to finish Wildlands because apparently the DLCs that they added in Wildlands is the prequel to Breakpoint.
Yeah.
So that looks pretty good. And then if you're into classic Rollerball, dude, you got Roller Champions coming out.
Roller Champions.
To me, it looks like Rollerball with a little bit of basketball. You know, like if you go back and watch El Dorado, the old cartoon show where they got the hoop hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
That's the feel I get from this one, only on roller skates.
No, you didn't mention basketball.
I didn't really watch a lot of basketball, sorry.
That movie's it's stupid. Anyway.
They got 2 new Rainbow Six ones coming out, guys. They got obviously the new season of Rainbow Six Siege. And then they got Quarantine coming out, which is going to be from what I understand, a 3-person co-op. Which there's a lot of those coming out now, so it is what it is.
Now this.
Right here?
The next down, yeah, the Netflix movie part of it.
Yeah. Netflix being on net. So I don't care about the other one. This one I care about because I want to see how they're doing the Division movie. If they're going to go from season 1, season 2, or something that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they tell the whole story for those that don't play the game, that you go through of how we're at the point that we're at now, which I kind of want to see them do.
Do you remember when Division 1 came out? They had those like mini. It can't even call it a mini series. It was like 4-minute video clips from different people's vantage points about the whole, the green flu and all of that. But those came out right before Division 1 came out. So it was. I
kind of remember them, but not a lot. So, but did you see the end trailer for like season 3 of Division 2?
No, I didn't.
They show that they're back in New York.
Really?
So I don't know if they're actually gonna do that because you see the Statue of Liberty in the background. You see a Ferris wheel and some stuff back over there, like at the carnival from the very beginning of Division 1.
I just want to know who's on the damn boat.
I know, right?
That's all I want to know.
So Division 2's got some still good stuff coming along. They got the Pentagon coming out, which is going to be another big one, and then the raid for that. It should be a good one. And then obviously we have your Uplay streaming or membership service to match Origin and Xbox. This is $14 a month. Same thing like we said with Xbox. I don't know that I want to pay for Xbox, Origin, Uplay, Yakety Schmackety, and Joe Schmo. So eventually it's going to wear thin with gamers because they're going to have to go to different places instead of getting them all from one location. That's the only downside I see behind this.
Yeah.
You don't want to subscribe to them all, or you're going to be... I mean, granted, if you're buying 5-6 games a month, that may be the way to go because you're going to be spending that amount of money anyway. So you got 15 for all 3 of those major services: Uplay, Xbox, and Origin, Xbox, and Uplay. There may be one or two other ones out there that I'm not that I'm forgetting about, but that's the way they're going in the future, and I don't think it's a bad idea, especially if you play a lot of games, a lot of different games. That's probably the way to go.
I could see where it would be a bad idea for. I think it's going to hurt the casual gamer base because, like you and I, we play a lot of different games from a lot of different publishers, and if I have to start paying $15 a month to all those, I'm more likely to pick a publisher that I like the most. Right now, it'd probably be like Ubisoft or something like that, just because of the games that they have on there. So I think it could be restrictive.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you at all, and that's kind of where I think it's going to end up hurting in the long run. I know I'm probably not going to be able to pay for all of them, unless they do like what Origin did and give you a yearly option, so that way I can pay for them all when I've got the money and don't have to worry about it later in the year. So it comes out later this year, guys. If you sign up for it now, they'll give you the first month free. So,
when do you get no games? None of the new games or anything is out, so sign up for it now. You get a month free.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to, because nothing's hit until November. It comes out in September.
Yeah.
This new one here, God of Monsters, comes out from the creators of Assassin's Creed. It looked interesting. Don't know much about it other than what we saw from it. It was okay.
Yeah.
Mobile game. For Honor, I haven't played it since it
was free for a time on Steam.
When it first came back, and I tried it again when they went back to. It was a disaster at launch, guys.
Yeah. Because
for one simple reason, the game was good itself, except for the disconnection rate, because they did not have their own players. They did not have their own servers. You would connect to me and we'd play on my server, and if something happened to me, it would then revert to somebody else, and you ended up spending more time in loading screens than you did actually playing the game. I tried it again when it went back to servers. It was better, but I was so far out of it that I just didn't care at that point in time.
Yeah, and they tried to do a little bit more as far as like the storyline in it, but to me, it was like Titanfall 1. Titanfall 1 was a great game. It was fun to play, but it had no storyline, and so people were like, I think For Honor fell down that same path.
The actual single-player mode in that one, where you got to learn the different races, and how, the story for it wasn't bad. There was some story there. It just was very limiting.
It's just not enough,
Yeah. But I still, there's still a following for Honor. It still appears to be a good game. They've got new elite characters apparently that are supposed to be pretty good. I may go back and try it again just for shits and giggles on a day, but I'm not going to play it regularly. So that's kind of where that's at.
Yep.
And then Brawlhalla is getting Adventure Time, guys. Yeah, I don't care.
No.
What does that leave us with here?
Well, the Bungie last Thursday, Bungie detailed their Destiny 2 Shadowkeep, which is their first self-published game or DLC or anything. They're doing cross-save compatibility, so not cross-play but cross-save. So, which is great. They're bringing us. Everybody's going back to the moon. The big thing I think will be the Destiny 2 New Light, which is going to allow everybody to play the game for free up to a certain point. You get, from what it sounds like, you get all the Destiny 2 content. You can raid, you can do the Crucible, the PvP portion. You can do all of that for free. And then if you choose to buy Shadowkeep, you can, and carry all your progression over to it, which is pretty awesome. It should bring in a lot of players. And I think the cross-save Function is a prelim to cross play, which would then again just make it all the more better. No more exclusives, so Xbox people don't have to be worried about not getting certain content or weapons or whatnot for a year. There's no more exclusives, so I think Bungie's going about it the right way.
I think the only person that I don't know if it hurts them because I don't know if they're having more slots, but I think the people that it hurts the most for that are those that have the game already on all the consoles.
Yeah.
The people that have played it on Xbox, PS4, and that, and they already have high-level characters. Each one's different. So unless they're getting a slot to play all those characters all the way across every platform, I think it hurts those people the most.
Well, and see it's also going to Steam. It's going away from the Blizzard launcher over to Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So what I have a couple friends that they're saying, well, what I'll do is, because I play on PC, and so they're saying, well, if I move everything over to PC, I'll just create a new Steam account and just merge everything from my Xbox over to my new Steam account, and then I'll have 6 characters I can play instead of 3.
Right.
So they won't lose anything that they've done on any console or on PC, but they just gain an additional an additional account.
But then you have to manage the accounts on who you've got where. There's a plus and minus to that, but
there's websites that you manage all your inventory and stuff on. So it's that part is not a problem. And see, coming because I played on console. I started playing Destiny on Xbox, and then I moved over to PS4, and then I moved over to PC. And I moved from PS4 over to PC. I lost everything, and I still don't have everything that I had on PS4. So that might be a situation where I do move everything from my PS4 over, move my account over. I haven't thought too much about it, but the more I'm thinking about it, yeah, I mean,
might be the way to go for you.
Yeah. So.
What you can kind of do in that point there too, then, is keep your highest level character on the PC and then just move over the other ones, if you can do that.
Yeah, just to have fun. Because see, and the way that Destiny works is like they have raids, and you go in, and when you do an encounter in a raid, you get a reward, but you can only get that reward one time per week per character, and it resets every Tuesday. So let's say, I raid on my one character, I've got all the rewards, but my friends haven't done the raid yet. Well, I can hop in on the character I've already done it all and help them out, but really not get any benefit myself, or I can hop in on another character. So, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of pluses to it.
It's one that, it's always been one that's been interesting, but I've never really jumped into it. I jumped into the first one with the King expansion.
Taking King, yep.
But I never really got into it because I kept playing by myself, and I think that was what drew me away from it, was the fact that I didn't have anybody playing with it at that time. And I was like,
Yeah.
But, you're playing it. I know a few people that are playing it. It may be something that might be at least worth looking into to get back into.
Well, and then you have the new light, which the free version that you can play. So, we can play. And they said with that, it's going to be, you play like 20 minutes of the base game just to learn about the game and how it all works and whatnot. And then from that point, you can hop in with your high-level character friends.
Okay.
So you won't have to play through the entire story until you get up to the same light level or power level as your friend. You can just hop right into the game. So I think it's going to work. I think it's a really good move from Bungie, who has struggled, and Destiny has seen its fair share of criticism, and deservedly. So this is hopefully a step in the right direction.
All right. So if you had to say one thing, one winner and one loser of the weekend, what would that be?
The loser, Bethesda would have to be the loser. Just because when you have a mistake like Fallout 76 come through, you have to do something that's really gonna, give that oomph, that power back to it, and they missed it. The winner, Keanu Reeves. in Cyberpunk 2077.
That's exactly where I was going to go with the winner.
Just looks badass, man. It's cool to see like it's John Wick in the Matrix, and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a fun game.
If I had to say, obviously that's my winner. If I had to go with one other one, it would be the Watch Dogs.
Yep.
Watch Dogs 1, and then the loser would have to be. I don't want to call Fallout 76 a complete loser, but Bethesda as a whole definitely is probably the loser of the weekend, because they didn't do anything to get people excited again. I mean, yeah, you got NPCs coming back to 76, but I think it's a little too late.
Probably.
So, you can now install it and play it for free this week, which I'm probably going to do just to try it out, and then probably never worry about it again. I'm a Fallout fan, guys. I love Fallout 4. I never completed it, but I love just jumping into it, playing it as long as I could, and then moving on to something else, because that's what it was a filler game kind of. But I had high hopes for 76, and to see it fall flat on its face was very disappointing to me, and they're just not recovering very well. So.
Huh. Well, there was just we can do this on Wednesday.
No, go ahead. You got it.
Well, no, it's just Marvel and Square Enix just announced Marvel's Avengers, an epic action-adventure game that combines cinematic storytelling with single-player and cooperative gameplay, developed by Crystal Dynamics in collaboration with Eidos Montreal, Nixxes Software, and Crystal Northwest.
Post the link to that, man, so I can see that.
Let's
you can post it anywhere, either in chat so everybody else can see it or whatever. But that's cool.
Yeah, I'll post it over here to chat. Right underneath Mrs. Mad Wolf saying, "I love Granny."
Oh yes, Daddy.
Anybody that just comes into the chat is just going to see Mrs. Mad Wolf say, "I love Granny," and not have any context at all to what she's talking about.
Let me pull this up on the stream here.
I haven't even watched it.
You know that old saying, never meet your heroes? Well, I did. And it was awesome. The Avengers were
Day.
everything I imagined.
Hello, San Francisco.
Hey, it's not Fat Thor.
I know, right?
Thor, Tony, check it out. At once. Try to keep up.
Captain America's voice.
This just got
Is it Chris Evans?
No.
No.
Banner.
Let's make this quick. Secure the bridge. Those weapons can't get into the city.
You set him up. File, knock him down.
Thor, what's your status?
There are humans trapped, and lots of small, angry men with guns.
Is that a joke?
The graphics. Is this a mobile game?
I don't think so.
They got pulsar tanks.
The graphics look a little
off.
Yeah.
Tony, Thor, the cables. Cap, what's going on over there?
Start the Chimera. What's your status?
We should head back.
No, stay on task. There are still civilians on this
So this
bridge.
looks like Winter Soldier. Like
Yeah.
Damn it, they played us.
That's
Some
not
say
good.
They were set up. Others call them murderers.
Do the Avengers
Huh.
pose a danger to society? That was the question, Bruce. That was the question.
Well, we all lost something that day.
Interesting.
But that's not how this story ends.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are we waiting for?
Holy
Play-
shit. May
Play the
2020.
beta first on PS4.
So my initial thoughts on that one is I'm if it's obviously it's a console game, and we don't get many superhero games other than the Spider-Man series. So this is a good change of pace. It just depends on how they pull it off. I'm not gonna say much else beyond that because I don't know much else, but that looked okay. I'd like to see some gameplay and see how it plays out, but
Yeah.
you know it's still early in that development, but yeah, we'll cover more on that one. I'll look at some more stuff on that one for Wednesday's show, guys. We're gonna do Wednesday's show covering obviously what we found left of Square Enix. It'll cover Nintendo tomorrow morning and anything else that we missed out on. I'm going to go back and review the AMD one as well, too, because there was a lot of good stuff apparently in that AMD conference that came out. So we'll review some of that, too, and anything else that might be mixed up in there. And that'll be Wednesday night, and we'll do a best of. We'll do it more into our favorites and our top 5 or bottom 5 of the weekend. And go from there. Be sure to follow us on Twitter there at the there to know when we're going live and what we're talking about. We're going to try to make this at least a monthly show. It may go more often than that as we get more into it, but after Wednesday it'll probably be a good couple of weeks before we do another one, just to kind of get things together. And that's where we're at.
And just think, I mean, if this overlay that we're using right here took us 2 years to develop, just think what we can get together in 2 weeks. I mean,
I think what mostly was is we just needed the motivation to actually do it.
Yeah, we did. We just had to.
We would get these little spurts, guys, from the background stuff. We get in these spurts where, all right, this is what we're gonna do. This looks really good. Thorn would do up all these great images. I would do all this other stuff in the background. And then it would just fall flat on its face for a while.
You're like, okay, let's go play Ring of Elysium. Or let's go play PUBG. Let's go do this.
Any final thoughts there, Thorn?
No. It's so anybody that is out there and does excellent graphics for a good price, Red free, and you're good at doing intros and music again for free. Feel free to hit us up.
We'll shout you out all the time, guys.
Yes, we will. We will.
But no, in all seriousness, guys, we are looking for somebody. Free is obviously the best option, but if we can probably cover something for you guys a little bit if you guys can do something up that's kind of cool for us. As you see, we're kind of going with the old TV style theme, so keep that in mind if you guys are looking into it. So that's that there. Other than that, guys, we'll be back on Wednesday, hopefully with some more stuff, and we'll give our overall rundown of the last 2 days of the show and go from there.
You're gonna go play some PUBG with Can?
I can do that.
Yeah, I was gonna do that.
So what I'm gonna do, guys? What's going on, Bad Monkey? How you doing, buddy? What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and bring this stream down for the podcast, and then I'll probably bring up a regular stream for myself. So if you're here in channel, don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a few minutes. And then we'll go from there. There's the multi that we're going to have up here in just a few moments. So, guys, keep that in mind. And we'll get better at this thing, guys. And we may even have an additional guest on Wednesday. So we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
guys, have a good one, and we will see you on the flip side. Again, hang out just a few minutes, and we'll be right back up.